back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 2, and I got Lix with me. How are you?
I'm good.
So glad to have you. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me. I was really super excited, like, when Pete told me about it. So I'm
yeah.
glad to be here.
I've been hinting. I'm like, can you ask Lix? Can you ask Lix? Can you ask Lix?
Yes, girl, I'm here.
So where are you from?
I'm from Houston. I'm from, like, South Houston.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm Southwest. Like, what side of South are you on?
I am from South Park, so...
I'm so happy that you dropped this year.
I know.
Crazy.
It's been, like, 2 years, like, since I dropped. So it was nice to, you know, like, get back into the flow of things this year. Mm-hmm. I actually decided last year to take music, like, serious. So it's been a journey.
Yeah, Lix Angels was crazy.
I know, and it's crazy because whenever I made it, I wasn't even planning on, like, it was just, like, for fun, literally. Like, I made that project as a birthday present to my boyfriend at the time, so it was very, like, super authentic, you know, like,
crazy.
Natural, yeah. So, yeah, it's very timeless, one of my prized possessions.
Yeah, I loved it a lot. The videos went crazy, like the one for Want This Love. When I seen that piece did it, I was like, oh, that was crazy.
Yeah. I really like that experience just because, like, after doing the video, it was so many things that I wanted to, like, change about it. But it was a learning experience. Like, it was my first music video, so I'm proud.
That's cool. And then the one this year, too, like, even the visuals for your cover, like, that was insane.
Yeah, I feel like I put a lot into it, especially with me, like, coming back and not making music for 2 years. It was different because before, like I said, like, I never really did music as a career. It was more of a hobby and just something I did for fun. So to actually go into it with the intention of, like, okay, this is something that I'm seriously pursuing. It was interesting. It was very different, though. It was a different process for me, for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember, like, in 2019, you threw a show. You had Mona Leo there, and then you had, like, a bunch of vendors. I was one of the vendors.
Yes, you were. I forgot about that. Oh, my God. Yes, that was in 2021, actually.
Oh, okay.
That was in 2021. I threw a promotional event for my lash brand that I had at the time called Zinc. And that was a big learning experience for me. Like, throwing that show, I spent, like, over 10 bands on that show. I paid for it all myself. I planned everything by myself. I, of course, had people like Peace, you know, to, like, help me and things like that. But I did a lot of it myself, and it was a lot. So I am proud of the turnout just because, like, I was able to, like, help other people with brands, you know, like, kind of put themselves out there. Was able to book Mona Leo the year that she was blowing up. So it was cool. Like, it was a nice experience. I enjoyed it.
That's cool.
It was stressful, but it was cool.
I already know, like, I had through a gallery last year, and, like, with that in itself was too much, but, like, having performances and then, like, getting hella vendors, I already know, like, that could be a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
It was a lot. It's more so the planning, and then it's, like, the execution is just even more planning. But it just made me proud that I pulled it off, like, because I did pull it off. You know what I mean? So it's nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a memorable, like, experience for me. I remember it. I was
I love that.
I still got the videos in my phone. Like, that was just a crazy moment.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Literally, like, that's the point. Like, so that's nice to hear.
Yeah,
it
definitely. You're doing it. You're leaving marks for sure.
Oh,
you're leaving marks.
Love that.
Yeah, like, I feel like your music's so, like, experimental. So even, like, doing that in Houston, there's not a lot of female rap that's, like, different like that. Like, I had Mads on here, and I was like, there's not too many female artists that really stand out in the city that are alt or anything like that. And, like, your music be on some dance shit too.
Yeah, it does. It's different because it's like I'm trying to I'm just trying to get out of my comfort zone, and it's not as easy as I thought. I didn't think it would be easy, but it's just not as, you know, smooth as I thought it would be, you know, because I have been trying to, like, get more into, like, you know, just hip hop, you know, but my heart is just with house and alternative.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, because you could be at the parties, like, all different ones.
Yeah, that's very true. And it's so crazy because I'm not a huge party girl. Like, I'm really not. I'm very, like, I'm a mom, like, you know, but like I'm not a huge party girl. So it is interesting and it's fun. Like, and honestly, like I've never been to a rave before. People always tell me that I make rave music. So it's just, it's nice. Like it is nice. I do enjoy house music a lot. So it's just, you know, nice to be able to create it. But I would say like my music is house, but it's also, it just has like a completely, you know, different feel, like a unique feel to it. So I really love that. Yeah.
Like even when you first started off, was that something that you were like more focused on, like alt vibes, or was it kind of just like you just went in the studio and it's like, oh, this, you surprised as much as like
so when I first started making music, I went by the name Laya, and I was more on some like soulful shit. Okay. So I would be on like my Erykah Badu shit. Right. And so I started off like on that vibe. Okay. And then I like reinvented myself. I changed the A to an X, so it's Lix. And the X stands for no identity. So it was just more like, you know, I could do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't really put me in a box, I feel like. So after I did that, I just started trying shit. Like, went through like a punk phase, you know, super emo and shit like that. Yeah. And then it's like, after I met one of my producers in, I think 2018, I met him in 2018. When I met him, he just like turned me out. Like, you know, to house. Like, he just, like, had all these fire-ass house beats. And then it's, like, my flow and my cadence, it just goes so well with house. Yeah. So I just kind of, you know, like, stuck with that, honestly. But that's why I've been trying to, like, venture off and do more things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to, like, tap into now, like, that you've gone this far with your music? Is there anything else you want to try?
There's so many things that I want to try, honestly. Like, there are literally so many things I want to try. Like, I do want to get into, I just want to try everything. Like, I feel like the music that I make, I don't feel like it's just one type of sound. Even though, like, I've heard a lot from people that the songs that I make, it sounds like a song that I would make, if that makes sense. But it's like, I want to try a lot of stuff. I want to get into punk. I do want to, you know, get into hip hop a little more. I have always been a big fan of old rap, like old school rap. I love it. So I do want to get into like, you know, that a little bit more. I want to try a lot of shit.
That's cool.
Yes, girl.
Have you made any of your own beats yet?
When I first, like my first song I've ever made, it was literally, I rapped the Crush on You lyrics from Lil' Kim. I rapped it over a beat. And I was like, that shit fire. And then I just started making songs. Like, it was so random. Cool. On my computer, GarageBand, making random ass shit. And one day, I had Geo Heaven hit me up to book me for a show. And I started performing. And people just, you know, I just started gaining supporters, and then from there on, it's like I would go viral on Twitter. Like, I dropped a song called Today, went viral on Twitter with that song. It's just been a lot of random moments where I, like, you know, kind of go viral. With, there's a song that I dropped. It was called Wreck It, and I, like, went viral with that song on my old Twitter and shit like that. So it's just random, you know, random things getting into. That's and cool. People fucking with, like, just liking to hear that from me. Because I'm a very creative person. I like to do all types of shit. Like, I've drawn my own comic. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, like, a lot of random shit that I be doing. So music's just one of those things. But people just love that shit for me. So. Yeah.
It's definitely, like, fresh. Like, it's just new, different. Like, you listen to it, it's like, oh, I never heard anything like this before. You know, it's different.
Yeah, I love that.
That's cool.
I really like that. Yeah, I'm trying to... For me, it's like, obviously, you know, like, I have a different perception of myself than other people do. So for me, it's not new. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm so hell-bent on switching it up. So.
That's cool. So what year did you start? Like, was it also, like, by yourself, too, like, recording yourself? Or was it kind of just like, oh, I'm going to hit the studio? Like.
Yeah, so I went to TSU for a fucking semester. And the whole time that I went there, I was, like, starting a spiritual journey when I first started there. So I was very to myself. Like, I would literally, like, meditate on a bench on campus, like, by myself, you know, very loner vibes. And I just started, like, making music. It was this song called, I think it's called like Enamorada or something like that. It was Spanish. I said it so wrong. But yes, it was a song that I made in TSU, and I actually, like, people, like, a lot of people on campus, like, really fucked with it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was my first inkling of, like, really getting support for my music. And the music I was making was so different from what I was making now. So it was just interesting. Like, I feel like after that, it kind of pushed me to just keep exploring with it. And then it turned into legs. Like, literally. So.
That's crazy. I went to TSU too for like a year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of support on that campus, though.
It
They're
is.
looking.
College is very much like that. There's a lot of community, so I really like that.
Yeah, like they're willing to push anybody, like especially like new, fresh. Like they just want to be able to like be the first fan to anybody.
Yeah.
Which I really like there too.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's cool. And so like, are you comfortable being like by yourself in the studio making music, or you want like a team there, like producer or like
so
engineer?
Usually whenever I make music, I typically have the producer that I mentioned earlier that turned me out onto the house shit, he is a really good engineer. And so normally I will always work with him when it comes to engineering. I did my first album called Death of the Endura. I did that with a different engineer. His name is G with Victory. That's like the first studio that I really tapped in with. Shout out to him. Love him real bad.
Yeah, shout out Victory.
And he's just always been super supportive of my career, and he really stuck it out with me in the studio because I'm very like assertive and a little bitchy.
No, that's good.
So yeah, so he stuck it out with me, and I love that.
That's cool. That's cool. So what's your favorite part of making music?
My favorite part of making music is hearing the finished product and making music, because when you write a song and even when you record it, it doesn't always sound like how you envision it. So I feel like that is a big part of music that I love, and also people's reactions. Like, I've performed and I've had everybody in the crowd singing the lyrics to my song, you know what I mean? And I'm an underground artist, so it's like it's a really good feeling. Like, the mere fact that I had a supporter come to me and say that she's been listening since she was 13, like, that's a really big deal to me.
Crazy.
Like, yeah, and I have some very loyal supporters, so it means a lot to me, because honestly, like, music has never been a priority to me until now. You know, it's always been like me living life, and then of course being a mom. So.
Okay, cool. And then you spoke about like the gap you took. Like, what do you feel like you learned from the most during that time?
So when I took my break from music, it wasn't necessarily a break from music to me. It was just me like being a mom, really, because I was having my children, and music just seemed like a chore to me at that time. And it was never something I tried to pursue a career in. It was just something I did for fun. So I feel like with me taking a break from music, it did make me just appreciate doing it more. It made me realize how much I actually love to do music. You know what I mean? Like, it does make me, whenever I'm doing it, I always feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
That's good. I'm glad you feel that way. Yeah, girl. Yeah, I'm glad it brought you back.
Yeah, I know,
needed
right?
that. That's cool. What's your favorite part of like being a mom?
My favorite part of being a mom is, I feel like it's just the wholesome moments, you know, like the wholesome moments of actually, one, it just makes me feel like, I feel like the fact that I'm able to take care of, like, you know, children and myself, it just makes me feel like that girl, you know what I mean? And still like pursue what the fuck I want to do. So that's one. And then also just my kids, they're fucking pure as fuck, you know, like they'll come kiss you, I love you mommy, like just, you know, cute regular kid shit. I love it so much. I've always wanted to be a mom, literally, like I've always been the mom friend. I've never just had like a super crazy personality and shit. Like, I've always been kind of a homebody. So it's like, you know, it's something that I feel like I've just always been meant to be a mom.
Like, they're gonna grow up and be like, yeah, Lix is my mom. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. I love that though. Yeah, because I look at my mom like that, like, oh, she's a superhero. So like, I know that they're gonna feel like that.
Yeah, and they love
you.
my music. Like, I will play my music and they'll just dance and shit. You know, like they love it.
What advice would you give to another female artist like trying to start in her own like way, you know, with music?
Don't be afraid to be a bitch. Like, literally.
I like that.
Don't be afraid to stand
that.
on your 10. Don't be afraid to be a, you know, for people to look at you funny a little bit, because I have people look at me funny all the time, and I'm not a disrespectful person. I'm very genuine. I stand on my 10. I'm very assertive. I say what the fuck I feel, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't fuck with that, like, because they like for women to just take whatever, especially in the music industry. Like, I've done shows when people have tried not to pay me and shit, like, so it's just a lot of shit. So I would just say, don't be afraid to pop your shit.
Love that. I say, like, being a woman, naturally we have like sex appeal and things like that. Do you feel like that's something like as an advantage when it comes to rap, or do you feel like sometimes it's like they look down on you a little bit just because like naturally you have that?
Well, female rappers are heavily criticized all the time, so they're just going to talk shit regardless. So I would say when it comes to sex appeal, that's something I've been leaning into as of recently, more sex appeal. Because before, it would just be kind of grungy, like, talk my shit, not really like, you know, sexy ass bitch vibes, you know what I mean? Now I feel like I'm leaning into being more sensual and more feminine.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I'm navigating that too.
Yeah.
Like before, especially now that I'm getting older, like we are tapping into that. All the women around me, they tap into that, like being more feminine, learning how to like navigate that in workspaces and stuff like that. And like, of course, with music, I know that could be like a big thing, especially with like all the female rappers now. They're all kind of tapping into that as well. But it is kind of like almost a little shady to people, like, or to like the women, like they're not good enough just because that they use that to their advantage, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like people try to say that female rap is like watered down because of all people talk about is sex, but that's all people want to hear. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but what I will say is it's nice to see Doechii like going up. It is, because she's a real rapper and she really talk her shit for real. So it's just like, it's nice that people are receptive to that, because people just want it, like, as a female rapper, a lot of people just want to see like, you know, like sexy red vibes, like, you know, sexy coochie, you know what I mean, like all that shit. And it's like cool, because it's like, okay, but that's not like all there is to it. But I feel like right now, I feel like since there's so many female rappers that are coming up, it's kind of like altering a little bit, you know, like real rap is slowly coming back. So I will say that I do feel like that. But when it comes to just like sex appeal and female rap, it's something, I mean, women are fucking sexy.
Literally.
Like, it's something you cannot run away from. Like, pussy runs the fucking world. So if you want to rap about it, bitch. Like, literally. So.
Yes, definitely. I mean, what would be what you would tell Lix 2018 when you first started? What is something that you would tell her about, even about like her sexuality, even about like the music she's gonna make, and just like in general, like, what would you tell her?
You want to know the best part about 2018 me? I wouldn't tell myself shit. I would just do it. I would just do whatever felt good. Literally, like, whatever felt good to me at that time, whatever inspired me at that time, I would do it. So it's like with me being just like, yeah, I mean, I just always would do what felt good. There's no one thing that I would stick to, which is why I changed my name to Lix, you know, because it just stands for no identity. Like, you know, I can be whatever the fuck I want. There's no limits to anything. So, yeah, that's kind of the point. And, like, you know, my entire vibe is just to be whoever the fuck I want to be do whatever the fuck I want to do, you know? I really, like, when I first changed my name, I really wanted to focus on like the experience and listening to my music. That's why I went by Lix, the ultimate experience. And so that is something that I really want to get back to, because I would say now my focus is more so on what my supporters want to hear. And it is so like, it's such a like, it's really hard to like work when that is where you're coming from. And it's hard to like not come from that place, because I don't know, like, you know, I've never actually thought about pursuing music until recently. So it's like now my entire mindset is different, and it's something that I'm actively navigating.
That's cool.
Yes, girl.
Love that. I definitely wish you luck with the rest of your career, because it's going to just keep growing and be beautiful. I definitely was just telling somebody how, like, as an artist, we're just going to constantly morph into so many different things. When we constantly just want to stay onto one path and we think that something is just right for us, it might not lead us into where we need to be, but like we have to like kind of let go, and we're just going to grow into whoever, you know, we have to be.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I can't say everything I've experienced, like, I know why I've experienced it. Like, even if in the moment I've just been like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because it was a point in time where literally, basically, like, all of my friends, I realized only fucked with me because of, like, who they thought I could be. And so it's like, that was very different for me because I've never experienced that before.
Yeah.
And I'm, again, very genuine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like,
yes,
I feel like I'm learning every day. And I like feel it, like I'm taking it in, like, actively, and retaining it.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, the team that I have now, I know that they want to grow with me, and they're on their own, they're gonna be so much bigger too, you know. But that there is people that just want to stay with you because they know like you're gonna blow up. They know that like the potential you have is crazy, so they want to like hold on to that just so they could be at the finish line with you, you know.
Yeah.
But like it is all about like having the best people around you that want to grow with you on their own and don't attach that like part of you to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I have people around me that have been supporting me from day one, and that are like, you know, really ride for me, and I really appreciate. And I'm grateful for that. I really am, because people don't have that. You know, people, I feel like a big thing on the scene right now is everybody's transactional. It's just like, what can you do for me? What can I do for you? And of course that's important, but also it's like, a lot of people, like, for me, business relationships and personal relationships are two different things. And so it's like, previously I would have people trying to appeal to me on a personal level, like, oh, your kid, that's my nephew, like, you know, all this shit. And then ultimately, like, they just see business. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a really, really big thing when you're working with friends. It's like, you know, keeping it black and white.
Yeah, for sure. Working with friends, it could go both ways. Like, you kind of have to break boundaries a little bit to like stay on toes sometimes. But like, I definitely appreciate the people on my team too that push through. Is there anybody that you feel like was like solid with you the whole time that you want to like be with?
Yeah, for sure.
Peace,
for sure. Peace has been like my ride or die since day one. I have my producer, my longtime producer, Antho. He's literally like the reason that I am who the fuck I am, basically, honestly. But yeah, like Victory Studios, he literally like has rode for me through so many situations. That event that I threw, he helped with so much shit, like all the handiwork. He helped a lot with that. I really appreciate that. But there's a lot of people I have in my corner, for sure. So I'm grateful for that.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for being on Angel Talk.
Thank you
with
for
me.
having me.
You did so great. I'm so glad you were here. I really appreciate it. Y'all go listen to OSMOSIS ASAP.
Go stream that shit
ASAP.
Yeah, do that. Thank you.
But y'all follow more on Angel Talk on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and y'all go ahead and check out Licks too.
Follow me on social media at Wehatelix, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and stream my new tape called OSMOSIS on all platforms.